Vayonitai Gaura Radeshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Jai Guru Shri Guru Jai Guru Shri Guru Jai Guru Radha Raman Jai Nitai Jai Gaur Jai Jai Shri Radeshyam. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahman Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Welcome back, Shri Radhe. Today we have the last part of this book, the last few pages, that have been an interesting journey to understand the Guru Tattva and what is Guru and what is not. So, the previous paragraph reads, most of the beliefs and greatness about Gurus have been propagated by those who are fond of becoming Gurus. Therefore, one should remain cautious in the present time of Kali, age especially. Surely, due to, we spoke in the previous video a lot about this problem and this topic, and I truly believe that this reading is very, very, very important nowadays, since Guru is one of the new professions in India. If somebody failed in the school, well, let's be a Guru. I am not successful in business, let's be a Guru. I will get money, followers, etc., etc., etc. So we must be very aware and careful with this. For sannyasis, strivers, devotees, and devotional singers, humble submission. This article was first published in the 9th year of Kalyan during the year 1934. By the grace and permission of the Almighty Lord and His devotees, I am trying to express my feelings, which are dear to me, on the conduct and devotional singing, loud chanting. Though I do not regard myself competent and authorized to write and deliver sermons and directions, nor I am myself able to follow the same conduct fully, yet I am trying to discuss some noble thoughts learned from saints and scriptures, which are loving to me. Therefore, I am trying to pass some time on such discussions by regarding it as a matter of good fortune for me. I hope my fellow seekers shall express their thoughts from time to time, because by this I should get an opportunity to read their views, and those fellows shall also be able to spend some time in spiritual discussions. If some learned thinkers find some faults in the thoughts expressed by me, which I have learned from the uttering of saints and scriptures, I hope they shall pardon me by treating me as their own ignorant child. The seekers should always try to keep themselves away from pleasures, sorrows, passion and anger, etc. At least, they should not be overpowered by these evils. Out of them, seekers like me should feel scared of the evil of attachment. Okay, I hope now voice is working. Please let me know in the live chat, please. So what I was telling that, I don't know from where we get.
No, let's start from the beginning, because your microphone was off.
Was off all the time.
Yeah.
All right. What we are speaking is that intellectuality, an intellectual person is not the same than a spiritual person or a realized soul. And I was telling the story of a big saint, so-called saint, many followers in Radha Kund, that they think this man is Siddha, etc. Is Siddha Vaishnava because he wrote many books, but he ordered the translation to one of his books from Bangla to Hindi, And one devotee from Vrindavan did the translation from Bangla to Hindi, but the followers of this so-called Siddha start poisoning his mind, telling that this devotee from Vrindavan was from a total different parivar, should not accept and start poisoning his mind, his ear. And this so-called Siddha took sides, political trash. No, it's different parivar, I don't take this service, this and that. So it shows clearly that he was not a Siddha, because a Siddha will never take sides. The sides are only here, the expansion for all the preachers and devotees who are doing their seva in this planet. But up there in Nityalila Vrindavan, what side you will take? So, and because this Vaishnava wrote so many books, people believe that he's a saint and is a Siddha Mahatma, but it's not. You can see. If somebody can hear trash and not understand that he's being poisoned by the other people in what he think or don't think, then it means that this person has not eyes to see the truth. Cannot see, of course, cannot see. The role of Shukadev might be played by anyone in a drama. The wise is the one who has fully crossed the ocean of ignorance. Liking, disliking, passion, and anger are part of ignorance alone. This cannot exist with the real knowledge. Those people who start accepting themselves self-realize on the basis of their bookish knowledge and give up their spiritual pursuit by treating themselves free from all prescriptions and prohibitions, even before attaining the highest spiritual godly state, they generally face a fell down. Because still ignorance exists, attachment to sensory pleasure remains intact, and this attachment is the root cause of all sins. And what to talk of that situation where passion and anger are accepted as inevitable nature of this inner sense. Therefore, seekers like me should always be very careful in keeping themselves away from such evils as attachment, aversion, passion, anger, and greed, etc. Particularly after accepting total renunciation. The seeker should neither establish any contact with women and wealth nor keep company with them. The realized souls are totally free from all such evils. It should be kept in mind that instead of being an hypocritical, realized soul, it is better to remain ignorant, because in that case one is afraid of sins at least. A fraudulent person goes on committing sins purposely to protect his false image. And to protect his false image. So hypocritical people, they lie publicly, they lie, but they pretend to be a saint or to be like a very renunciate and so on and so forth. Therefore, do not think of fraud even in your dreams. Instead, become a true sannyasi. According to the above uttering of the teacher of ethics, one should always follow the directions of the scriptures. A sannyasi, viz., the man of the renounced order, should follow some rules, such as not to keep company of the householders, not to see even the picture of a woman, not to touch money, not to establish a relationship with anybody, not to be possessive about anything, not to accept any type of honor or admiration. These are basic rules for sannyasis. So we can see.
Sannyas doesn't work.
He should always protect his dispassion very carefully and keep his sense in full control. He should not collect worldly objects, not develop any sect, or not to make a house, and not to speak unnecessarily. He should observe celibacy, keep away from passion, anger, and greed, etc., and should be free from attachment and aversion. A sannyasi should always devote himself in spiritual practice and remember of God. A sannyasi who does not follow the fundamental discipline of sannyas faces a downfall. Therefore, he should strictly follow his sannyasi way of life. Even the great souls who have risen above prescription and prohibitions always perform virtuous noble deeds so that other seekers might follow them. If you intend to become a devotee, take God's shelter and constantly remember Him. Do not allow craving for wealth, respect, and admiration to enter into the mind. One should not care whether he is regarded as a devotee or not by the people. Important one should not care whether he is regarded as a devotee or not by the people. By the people, right? We should not care what people say about us. Not people. People has no idea. We should care what sadhus has, what opinion the sadhu has for us or about us, but not ordinary people, right? He should continue to remember and sing the name and glories of God with devotion as far as possible. One's devotion should not be revealed to others without giving opportunity to anyone to honor or worship him. Always protect yourself from honor and praise. Company of women or those who are indulged with women should always be avoided. Never allow your mind to develop lust for wealth and reputation. Do devotional singing wholeheartedly, but only to please God and not for the entertainment of people. So from now, meditating on this, think about this title of Kirtaniya. This is so ridiculous. Like, I am a Kirtaniya. It's like in material world, I am a doctor, or I am musician, I am a rock star of the Bhakti world. Ridiculous. I remember one story of Swami Bhaktivedanta that one day he or his temple was in birthday. I think it was his birthday, his appearance day, and the disciples in America, they pay to some professional kirtaniyas, Bengali ones, to chant professional ragas, kirtanas. And Swami Bhaktivedanta get there and say, who is these people chanting? He say, oh, we have been finding the best kirtaniyas for you. We hope that you are happy. And he say, please stop the music and let these men go away. Let them go away. Let's chant ourselves. This very, 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 very good.
Yeah. Because Shastra prohibit to take money from the mahamantra, kirtan.
Yeah, you cannot take money from mahamantra or from kirtan. You cannot take money for kirtan. So this professional kirtaniya singers is another Kali Yuga invention. Do devotional single wholeheartedly, but only to please God and not for entertainment of people, because then it becomes extrovert. So your kirtan is not internal, it's external. So there is where the Sankirtan dies. Sankirtan is to praise with devotion the name of Bhagavan. Yeah? But if you are doing for pleasing people, like in the temples in Western countries, they play 10 minutes here and then 10 minutes for this, 10 minutes for that. So the visitors, the people who is coming to the temple will not feel boring. So it's like entertainment kirtan. This is not correct. Huh?
No, everything for God. Anya Akhilasha Kashunya.
One second. Get fully engrossed in singing God's names while remembering Him and His virtues, glories, and meditation on Him. One should go on practicing to develop such emotions. Never think whether others have been pleased and attracted by your devotional singing or not. Have reverence and love for God's name and sing His name merged with extreme reverence and love. In such situation, God's single name uttered by you can create wonders. God's name uttered once by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to have overwhelming effect on the listeners because his singings were overflowed with the intensity of his love for God. Yeah, same story in Charit Sudha, Life of Love with Ramancharandas Dev. Miracles happen when he was chanting, so this is the power of the real sadhus, real bhaktas. Remember one more thing. Devotional singers should follow righteous conduct and possess divine qualities. One who sings and dances in the name of God, but whose conduct is not pure, cannot leave a good impression on the people. People make such person as their ideal without knowing the reality of their actual conduct, and this gives an opportunity to others to make false allegations against devotional singing, its singers, and even against their object of singing, God Himself. Therefore, it is our responsibility that due to our conduct, the image of divine singing and our God, deity, is not tarnished. As a matter of fact, divine singing and God can never be tarnished. But why should any suspicion creep up in their mind on account of our conduct? If conduct is not pure, one should practice devotional singing in loneliness. One should beg and cry before God for purification of one's conduct. But be aware, never try to hide ill conduct, nor give any support to ill conduct under any circumstance. Duties related to your social order and stage of life should never be ignored on the pretext of devotional singing. It should be done while following one's own duties: knowledge, dispassion, righteous conduct, varnashram, samdhya prayer, and Gayatri mantra should never be criticized. While praising the loud chanting of the Lord's holy name, rather they should be followed properly according to the ordinance of the scriptures. In the name of spiritual singing, one should not indulge in partially or develop feeling of a high and low standard in different names of God and encourage groupism. Do not make like statements like to chant Krishna's name is superior than the ones who are chanting Rama's name. This is not correct.
Yeah, you can explain that people doesn't understand this second meaning, that the Krishna name should not be higher than Shiva or Brahma, but everybody sings different. About 10 apparat of holiness. That is what they also explain.
Divine names of God should be chanted and sung with simple, pure, genuine, selfish, and exclusive feeling of love, and others should also be inspired to do so, but as far as possible refrain from becoming a preacher, a leader, or a teacher. Protect yourself from being honored, admired, or worshipped. One should always resist temptations for wealth and woman. At the time of devotional singing, names of God should be chanted with full force of voice. One should not remain silent out of pride of knowledge, learning, status of rich or riches. It is a standing kirtana, loud chanting of the Lord's holy names. One should not hesitate to stand up. None of our conduct should result in disrespect for the devotional singing of God's name. However, dancing should come only when one is overwhelmed with loveful emotions and not just for show. Anybody who have been working from his Bhaktivedanta mark, it's just pure show, really. See people dancing and making choreographies on mahamantras, ridiculous. This is not bhakti. Always remember that devotional singing with chanting of God's name is a highly respectable and adored way of life. It should be done with deepest of feelings and highest of conduct. Devotional chanting of God's names and its sound should lead beings to sudden self-realization of all around as far as the sound reaches. Jai Ho. Swami Ramshuk Das. Actually, I never seen a picture of Swami Ramshuk Das, actually. And not much information on him. I had to ask to my guru some time ago about him. And he explained a little bit that he had darshan of him in his last years, just before he departed from this material world. Very interesting book. Is salvation not possible without a guru? It's a small 80 pages book made by Gita Press, Gorakhpur. Actually, the work of Swami Ramshuk Das that mainly are just kathas that the disciple or followers write down are available for free on internet. You can go to Google, put his name, and you will find so many free material of him. One of the things that he said regarding his books or his writings, no, his kathas and philosophy, that nobody should build up a temple on his name, that nobody can start making disciples as part of his parivar or sampradaya or his movement, Ramshuk Das movement or something like that. Nobody can print books and sell books with his words. Yeah, but Gita Press has them. Yeah, anyways, they are very cheap. But yeah, but he said nobody should 80 rupees for this. He said nobody should print books and selling books with my words. Nobody should do. Another thing he said nobody should make a picture of me. Wow, that's next level. Well, I hope you guys, intelligent guys, my followers, have enjoyed this lecture. Some things we can take for our daily routine, for our Siddhanta understanding, philosophical understanding. I guess it will be beneficial in somehow. Thank you very much, and we will start reading later on today or by tomorrow. By the way, Happy Ekadashi, everyone. We'll start reading a new text, similar material. So stay tuned. Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Shri Guru, Jai Guru Radharaman, Jai Nita, Jai Gaur, Jai Shri Radheshyam, Gaura Premanande Hari Bol.